Episode 2: 4 false arguments used to defend the social justice requirements. The 2010 Code of Ethics consists of 7 core principles. These are beneficence, non-maleficence, autonomy and confidentiality, social justice, procedural justice, veracity and fidelity. The only new principle added to this list in 2010 was social justice. The addition of social justice to the 2010 Code of Ethics sparked so much controversy that 3 members of AOTA filed a motion to have it removed. A poll conducted of AOTA members revealed that 60% of those surveyed supported the motion to remove the requirement. Despite this poll, however, AOTA's representative assembly voted to keep it in. Before the Representative Assembly voted on the motion, the subject was debated in a forum on OT connections. A review of the discussion in this forum reveals several of the false arguments used by those who want to keep social justice in the Code of Ethics. This episode will address 4 of them. Most of the false arguments used to defend the social justice requirements came from the fact that people did not understand that many of the reasons for supporting the requirements were already covered by one of the 6 other requirements. For example, with the first false argument, it said that social justice had to be kept in the Code of Ethics in order to express the values of kindness and charity. This argument, however, is false, because these values are already contained in Principle 1, the principle of beneficence. The Code of Ethics tells us that beneficence includes all forms of action intended to benefit others. It also says that beneficence conveys acts of kindness and charity, and that it requires taking action to help others. Therefore, the argument that we need a social justice requirement to express the values of kindness and charity is false. These values are already expressed by the principle of beneficence. A second false argument is that we need the social justice requirement to address discrimination. Discrimination, however, is contained elsewhere in the Code. Specifically, Principle 5, the procedural justice requirement, states that therapists are required to actively work with employers to prevent discrimination. Additionally, Principle 5 requires therapists to follow state and federal laws, which prohibit discrimination. On top of this, the principle of beneficence requires therapists to report any unethical or illegal actions to the appropriate authorities, further protecting others from discrimination. Therefore, the argument that we need the social justice requirements to address discrimination is false, as such a value is contained in other principles. A third false argument is that we need the social justice requirement in order to have therapists promote public health and wellness. This idea, however, was already in the 2005 Code of Ethics, where it was found in Part D of Beneficence. Part D of Beneficence said that occupational therapy personnel had to recognize the responsibility to promote public health and the safety and well-being of individuals, groups, and/or communities. Therefore, there is no need for the social justice requirement to have these values in the Code of Ethics. They can simply be added to beneficence. A fourth false argument says that the social justice requirement is not political, meaning that it is not involved in promoting a specific view of government policies. In order to answer this question, we need to look at the explanatory section of the social justice requirement. There it says that social justice refers broadly to the distribution of all rights and responsibilities in society. In this sentence, the Code of Ethics cites the bioethics textbook, The Principles of Biomedical Ethics. If we go to page 241 of that book, we can find the exact sentence the Ethics Commission used for the social justice requirement. There we are told that distributive justice refers broadly to the distribution of all rights and responsibilities in society, including civil and political rights. As can be seen, the Ethics Commission borrowed the first part of that sentence, but excluded the second part. That is, the Ethics Commission left out the part referring to political rights. This should not have been a problem since the statement does refer to all rights, but nonetheless, leaving it out has created much confusion about the issue. Leaving it out has led to the false argument that the social justice requirement is not political when it actually is. There were many other false arguments used to keep social justice in the AOTA Code of Ethics. Many of these arguments stemmed from the failure to understand that the Code of Ethics already has 6 other principles that can be used to express important values we would all agree with. Thank you for watching. This episode has been brought to you by the Social Justice Syllabus Project, found at socialjusticesyllabus.org.